What those thingies mean.
Alright.
It's the thingies for me.
It's the thingies.
Yeah.
Right.
Just make sure y'all talk into that. Because it's a little
Well, no,
everybody just leave it.
Everybody.
What does the red mean?
Never after games talking to something.
Nah. Yeah, I wish we had like
touch my lip.
anytime one of those comments was made, everybody got a drink. That's a rule for the episode.
There it is.
Anytime y'all or somebody makes a comment, you got to make
Comment towards what though?
A gay joke? Is that what we're saying?
This is a gay episode.
Yeah, so every
this
time
is
Right.
it's a
you
pride
gotta say
episode.
something more specific. Like we can't say I say pussy a lot. If you want to tell me I can't say pussy in this whole episode and drink, I might as well get the jug to myself.
Right here.
Like,
Damn, I wish we had like a paper to fucking put
Tally
these
it
rules
up.
down.
Yeah, facts. That's
no,
cool.
fucking improvise. It's like Uno. Make up your shit. House rules.
Heard you.
House
So we
rules.
know
She
who
gonna be
not to
drunk by
play
the end
Uno
of the
at
night.
whose house. I still don't. She be cheating and shit.
No, listen, you can't
She
put
make
the
up
draw
her own
4 in the
shit.
draw 2, okay? It's
Yes, you can.
not in this house. Not in this house. No, because I start doing some extra shit.
Big
Oh
joker.
man.
I am a big drinker.
Well,
That's
shit.
Okay.
Like I told y'all, we just gonna record. We've been recording this shit for the whole last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and helping you find your own path. We coming at you live from the Reset Studio. That's what I'm naming this place because it needs a name.
Oh.
Well, it's called Reset.
Oh.
And
I thought that was a C.
Nah.
It's an arrow.
Oh, it's the logo.
It's the. Do we need to start over? Because
Well, you thought it was crescent? You thought it was crescent? You thought it was crescent.
Reset.
Heard you. Okay, I thought it was a clever C. Got it.
Yeah, no. In my head, this was gonna go a lot smoother. Like I thought you was just gonna be like, yo, that shit was smooth.
Right, that was
Yeah. I mean, keep it rolling. It's fine.
Okay, so it's your co-host Jake.
Your boy Spence.
You suck, bro.
You're
terrible.
I need a better name. I'm sorry.
We've been trying to figure out a way to introduce ourselves as catchy and cool, but he fucks it up every week.
With his own name.
It's your boy Spence.
With his own name.
What's your name?
What's your name is?
What's your
Spencer.
name?
Should I just go back to Huggy?
Nah. You too old
Leave
and big
Huggy
for
go.
that.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
fuck that.
All right.
Wait, Huggy?
Huggy's my old nickname.
Yeah.
That's like
Like
high school.
diapers, Huggy
I had
diapers?
dreadlocks.
He was shitting
Everybody
everywhere.
says that. Not the diapers. I don't have any kids that I know of.
All right, and on that
Well,
note,
then.
a drink for that.
There it is. And we started.
I'm also looking at work.
well, you got work?
I'm saying I'm looking for kids that look like him. What is that?
You look like Spence.
You know your daddy? Oh shit! But oh man, before we get carried away, because I already see this episode is going to be one for the books. We are here. You know, it's Pride Month to celebrate Pride, shed some light on everything that is and people don't know. So before we dive into the nitty and gritty and get dirty, drink.
I know.
Let's y'all, our guests, introduce themselves and then we'll hop into it.
All right. Well, my name is Tess. Locks by Tess. Some people know me as.
She does my hair, y'all. She does my hair.
That shit looking splendid.
Mr.
Different.
Jacob, he comes to harass me.
I'm her favorite client.
He is one of my favorite clients.
One, okay, I take it.
That's my Hispanic poppy right there.
Yes,
That's Hispanic
I'll take
poppy
it.
right there. I'll change my name, his name in my phone, and everything. I said, you got it.
Appreciate it.
Hispanic poppy. Every time you call me.
Oh, it's my turn? Oh, all right. Hello, everyone. My name is Curtis Rodriguez Porter. My new name, since, you know, my husband and I just got married last year during... I'm still getting used to saying that and writing it out.
Okay.
And outside of this space right here, I work at CREC as a program manager, overseeing marketing and programming. And one of my many community roles is chair of the LGBTQ plus commission for the city of Hartford. So I'm happy to be here.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you. Let's go.
Thank you.
All right, I'm Janae, aka Frankie. I'm outside tonight. We
I'll have to
outside.
explain Frankie later.
Yeah, later. That's a whole nother day. But nah, I definitely came out. I actually went to high school with Spencer, so we go way back.
Gang, classical
Yeah.
magnet, gang.
You know what's crazy though? We were in
classical.
different grades, but it didn't matter. Like the energy was just always dope, and that's what I love about just coming out tonight and supporting. So 100%.
Appreciate you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Louis. I'm in education. I also work for CREC, and this is my husband. I've always known I've been gay, but I've been more comfortable ever since I met my husband.
Period.
Oh. have to go talk about that story.
Now I'm out.
Oh, and by the way, my pronouns are he, him, his. Just
Mine
wanna.
are he, him, his as well.
Wait, say that, because we're going to dive into that.
He, him, his.
Well, matter of fact, yeah, say it now and then we'll talk about it later.
So my pronouns are he, him, his.
Okay.
Yours?
Frankie.
Frankie.
And that's all right. That's all right.
It's okay.
That's all right. Absolutely. He, him, his here.
I'm Tess.
Okay,
Period.
word.
I'm Tess.
Okay.
So before we dive into the nitty and gritty, we always try to have just some random, out of the blue question. And something that dawned on me this week, and I hope that everybody watches this, goes and does this. Go to Google, right? Type in anything. Looking in the mirror, going for a swim, eating breakfast, right? The pictures that come up will always be people of white people.
Period. No, you're right.
Whatever it is, there's a reason I'm bringing it up, but it's always white people. It's as if like people of color can't, brush their teeth or eat cereal.
Represent those entities.
Right.
Thank
The
you.
representation.
And they're not accepted or allowed to do those things. Has anyone ever noticed that or crossed that?
Now that you say it, yeah, because anytime you Google anything, it's always like a white presentation of something.
Yeah, I was looking up how to do a bun today, and it was all white. I need the slickums. Show me
said, "I
what
need my
you
4C
use.
bun.
Yes, because the edge controller had this one and the one that she was using. So I
And or whole families.
Thank you.
Right.
Right.
Traditional.
What you-
I should say.
traditional
Traditional
family.
woman and man.
And I feel
family.
like times have changed so much that we're just so stuck on these prehistorical
Yeah.
times. Like niggas is grown now. We outside and we're free. What is y'all doing?
Antiquated.
Times
I
have
never
changed.
really used Google until I got my own Google page. So you can Google locks by Tess. I'll pop up.
They'll pop out.
It's the
That'll be the
marketing
one
for
black
me.
person you see when you
I heard
Google
you.
It's
Locks
the
by
profile,
Tess. But
period.
other than that, it's like I don't.
Wait, you didn't use Google before
I
that?
didn't use Google.
You an Ask Jeeves person, huh?
No, I'm an Tess.
Ask Ted, no
The
Yahoo.
Britannica from back in the day. The Encyclopedia Britannica. You were still searching them up.
Interesting.
But to go back to the thing,
Nah,
I'm programmed. I don't look
Google
at that
wasn't
stuff
a credible
anymore. Now
source.
I look for to make sure that people of color are in these things. I don't question the white people anymore. Like, okay, now I'm gonna be like, okay, why aren't black people on this?
And that's what I'm getting at, right? And to kind of tie in both of y'all points, that's prehistoric, right? And why are we not now being brought up? Or why are we not on those first pages of Google or the first images? And it's prehistoric, it's not accepted, it's not normal, just as, and correct me if you guys disagree, being gay is not, or I think now in 2201 it's being more normalized, but prior to, it's not. It's not. And that's how I'm kind of tying the two together to kind of start hopping into the conversation of normalizing or what used to be and what is.
I think the media is what kind of paved the way for normalizing it. Because at first you didn't see black people on TV, you didn't see black families, or the black families you had always had afros. Black people all don't have curly afros, kid. Like, why you can't get this? But now, like, you can't really see a commercial without one black person in the back. Like,
Just the one.
And that person probably
That's
got
the
locks
token.
or
And they might be light
The
skinned.
token.
And it might be that light skin.
Now it's like when social media and the media accepted more of those norms. Okay, now all black people got curly afros. Okay, now we start seeing people. I still ain't yet to see somebody on national television with a crispy shape up.
Do you really?
They don't
Oh, you
have-
haven't seen Jalen
They
Rose.
don't
Jalen Rose barber on point.
That's
But
true.
I mean, seriously, like you
Nah, I
always
feel
see
you.
the curly fros, the unkeptness, but you don't see
The crazy
crispy-
hairlines.
You don't see
So let
the
me ask you a
waves.
question.
You don't see. You're starting to see more locks and stuff like that, but a lot of times it's black people with curly afros or curly hair or some type of updos. You can't really see what their hair is actually doing.
So is it that society and the media is actually accepting minorities and people of different backgrounds, or is it that they're, hey, you're black, you're also gay, so I'm gonna use you to say, hey, we hit our quota. We're catering to
Affirmative action.
Yeah, we're catering to that audience because now we can say, hey, we're LGBTQ plus friendly.
Right.
Now we are black friendly because we have this one.
We have
I think it's a
3
little bit of both.
I feel like
LGBTQ
it's a
that
little
work
bit of
here.
both as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like if you are that person who they tokenize for that, right? If you're a person who you know who you are, you know what you bring, and you know the space that you occupy, right? You can do a lot of good and you can push them, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're someone who you may not be in that space and have knowledge or whatever, then you can be taken advantage of. So
Right.
it just kind of just depends on the space that you occupy.
That's so.
as an individual.
That goes to like the cliche, knowledge is power. It's just when you know what you're capable of and what you bring to the table, you now have a force of like, no, like, listen, I'm not settling for
It's
nothing.
okay to disrupt the norm.
Literally, yeah. It's like, listen, I know regardless what I do in my free time, like I bring value here.
It's like playing a game.
I mean, television has norms. Like, you always see the nerdy person. You always see
Correct.
the
The
athlete.
black person
They're
always
trying
dies
to
first in
cater
the
to a
scary
certain
movie.
audience, and a lot of times when you have that one black person or one LGBTQ person, it's like, okay, well, we can cater to that audience, but that person is not always going to be great representation of that entire group
Right.
of people. But and that's the thing, what is actually normal now? And I feel like what we're really missing is like, nothing's normal. We're all different.
Right.
What the norm is what we create. What society says is correct, but no one actually is correct. Because guess what we're all doing? We're all figuring this shit out together.
Literally,
So,
like everyone has
let's
been
keep
since
it a buck.
forever.
Nobody has one set perfect life. No one has one set perfect what a family's supposed to be or what a relationship is supposed to look like. Because there's trials and tribulations on all ends. So I just feel like there is no normal. People are people, and we all need to be accepted. That's just my end on that.
They talking some shit. Everybody take a shot.
Pass me the jug.
Pass me the jug.
We gonna pass this down.
Yes, please.
It's not me because I'll drop it and fuck the whole shit up.
We don't need you to do that to the thinking.
So let me ask you guys a question since we're on the topic of media. Back, and I'll say like when we were growing up, you didn't see much LGBTQ on TV at all. And I think now whether it's commercials, TV shows, magazines, whatever, you're seeing it. I don't know if you guys saw they're coming out with a Rugrats reboot.
Yes.
I watched it.
So it's
I watched the
out?
episode, yeah.
And one of the is it the mom of the twins?
It's this mom of the twins, and she was already rumored to be a lesbian.
Right.
Yeah.
So now
She's
they
Bush.
said it.
Now she identifies.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even
She outside.
Yeah, right.
Comfortable with her sexuality.
and even Loki, they said that he is classified as gender neutral in the new Disney Plus series.
Wow.
Who?
Didn't know that.
Loki.
Are you a Marvel
I
fan?
watched that too.
Oh, Loki.
Loki, yeah. So he just got a
Thor's
show.
brother.
Yeah, Thor's brother.
No, because
Just-
I'm 42, so I don't know what you're talking about.
No, look, have you ever seen?
So I like.
Wait, you don't know Rugrats?
All that stuff.
Yeah, we gonna sit down.
That's
Listen.
90s babies. That's 90s babies.
He's like,
Okay,
That's-
90s babies. My bad. But the
Hey,
point.
I'm an 80s baby, but I know Rugrats. I used to watch
Hey,
it.
talk to your mans, bro. Talk to your
Yeah,
mans.
play him on, man, because he ain't never watched that.
Tommy Pickles?
You didn't watch Nickelodeon?
You didn't watch that shit?
That shit ain't come out till he was grown, baby.
Cat was 21.
Nick at
Yeah,
Night.
Rugrats all grown up. You ain't watched that
He was like 16, 17 when we was watching Rugrats. Let's
So
chop that.
I guess the point was or is now that they're putting more LGBTQ in front of people and in front of kids, is some people have an issue with that, like, oh, kids shouldn't see that, you're forcing it on them, and some people are like, hey, we should expose them to it at a young age just to expose them.
You know why they scared?
But that's education.
You know why they
Right.
scared?
So
That
go
comes
ahead,
up in
talk about it.
education.
Talk about
Absolutely.
Because they're so scared about how they're gonna raise their child to be, right? That their child gets influenced by something. They see something, that's what they're gonna do. No, baby, your child is gonna do what they want to do with or without that influence. So here, you can either expose your child and teach them about what these things are. So when they see a gay couple, they don't say ew. When you see
Right.
that their friend at school is getting dropped off with two mommies or two daddies, it's not abnormal to them. Because,
Right.
honey, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. And you want to either keep your child in a box or expose them to more different things so that they understand. If you keep them in a box, when they get outside that box, they're going to wild out. Watch
But
you.
that's education. Education was meant for you to question everything. That's how you learn.
And that's
Like,
how kids
question.
Yes.
Kids are
Yeah.
sponges.
Oh, you
Folks-
open a book and you
Yeah.
read, you're looking for answers. That is questioning. So when you put us in front of children and they ask, why do you dress this way and why, that's education. Like, why not? Let it happen.
Certain families want to
Folks are
create they want to create and they want to steer that narrative for their child, right? Instead of allowing it to be exploratory,
They sexualize it too
optional,
much.
and
That's
just
what
being
it is.
open, they want to script what
Well,
that
the
path
U.S.
for their
wants to
child
keep
looks
you in a
like.
box.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely had parents tell my son that they don't want to play with him because he's had 2 moms, or they don't want to come over our house because
Really?
we have 2 moms. Honestly, I thought it was because of the weed, because I be high. I be smelling damn tight. But nah, it was just some
So how do you
people
deal with that?
really just. I mean, at the end of the day, either you're gonna accept us or you're not. I'm not
Right.
gonna, and I've been very open with my son about a lot of things. We have a lot of different LGBT people in our family, so it's like,
How old is he?
my son, he just turned 11 years old.
Wow.
So
he
yeah,
grown.
so yeah, you feel me? I'm not a little grown man. Like, there you go. Like, hold up, nigga. Like, don't be talking to me like that. What you talking to me like?
His voice can go
Stop shit on you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
His
Like,
voice cracking and shit.
Yeah.
but he's complete opposite of me. Very calm, very chill, but
Right.
he knows. And we've had a lot of issues with him growing up because, I mean, for a long time he had really long hair. And that was an issue. And oh my God, he's a little girl. And then it was, oh, I'm teaching him to be gay because my little girl is dressing like a little boy. And I'm like, he's a little boy.
Right.
And, you know, I had to tell him, like, listen, tell these motherfuckers you got a big dick. Like,
First of all, y'all see
that's
Tess
it.
fit
you feel
like.
me? I had to
why-
just,
She
like,
came
let
in.
her know, like, no.
Yeah,
like,
like, shit clean. First, Taz fit is clean. So
Stand up real quick.
why would he grow up to be like a
time
woman?
out. Don't call me out because word to me, I had put this out on my bed, right? And I was like, yo, I'm late, so I ain't even get home to really get dressed. What you mean?
First of all,
So, yo,
listen, you the
flyest
She made it work though.
Absolutely.
So hold on.
Loving the jacket.
You guys have a kid as well, or am I?
We do.
Are we speaking on that, or did I?
It's like it's foster care, so you just never know right now what happens. So we're
let's not
kind
speak
of
We're gonna cut that part out. We're gonna cut that part out.
We can talk about it.
I mean, would it speak on what you guys are comfortable speaking on it in that aspect?
I mean, it was an easy process to go through.
Was it though? It was during COVID.
It was hard. Okay, I'll tell you about it. It was a hard process because we were a gay couple, so we were looked at differently. Like, really, you guys want to foster a kid? Is your house really like
Stable.
stable? And even when we were in the classes, fake classes, I was questioning that because I'm in education and I work with infants and toddlers and preschoolers, so I questioned a lot of what they were saying. And then the shit that just happened to us recently, I was like, I don't know about this. The
Talk your
system is
shit, kid.
fucked up. The system is fucked up.
Oh, for
towards
sure.
The gay families. That's all I can say. I don't know if it's too much, but it is fucked up against our.
It really, I mean, I grew up in a lot of foster care, and that was even before I even knew who I was. So for me, growing up, that wasn't an issue for me. But as I got older and being part of different organizations and stuff, and I used to do a lot of True Colors events and GSA events and stuff like that. And you really see a lot of those kids who are in, gay, straight, or any type of LGBT, kind of secluded from those parents and those loving families because of that. And everybody feels like it's okay to kick out their gay kid. Like, where did we learn that at? And when did that become such... There are so many kids misplaced just because they told their parents, Mom, I'm gay, Mama, Dad, I'm gay, Dad, whatever the case may be. And it's just like, oh, well, we don't support you, get out.
So,
What?
Because of scripture, because of
yeah,
what was designed.
preconceived
Terrible.
notions.
Was designed to be okay and
It's-
what's not okay.
It's literally terrible how many kids that I've run it. I used to literally work right there. I used to work for a nonprofit organization working with kids in and out of foster care and in DCF and stuff like that. And like the kids would just sit there and they would just look at us and in my mind, I'm like, my gay ass is going home. I live my life, but you feel me? Like these kids are like, I don't know how to live. I don't know how to be myself on a regular basis. I'm not happy. I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like I'm going home to live my life, and I'm happy. And it's just like you could tell them as much as you want, like if you get through this, things will get better. Things will get better, but if they don't see things getting better, they don't believe those things are getting better. And their minds is like, no, this is it for me. My parents don't love me. My family doesn't care about me.
It starts at home.
I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question. Can I have it?
Yeah, of course.
So as a lesbian couple with kids, right? Do you look for like a welcoming sign when you sign up your kids for school? Are they LGBTQ friendly? Is there a sign on the door? Do you look for that stuff, or
me personally? I mean, I don't identify as being a lesbian.
Okay,
I'm definitely
sorry.
bisexual. I take that very seriously.
She said I take that very seriously.
I know it's a long fight for us bisexual people
Yes.
because we always got to be confused.
Greedy.
I'm not
Sorry.
confused or greedy about what I want.
You want what you want when you want it,
I'm not,
right?
and I do.
You want what you want when you want it.
And we deserve
And why does it need to be?
everything.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
Everything
And why put it in the box? It's just
Facts. Don't put me nowhere.
Right. I don't believe in boxes.
outside.
Spencer said this in his last
Talk about it.
episode. You think you deserve everything, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you want to be fucking rich.
Yeah.
Okay, so sexually, I want to be fucking rich. I do not hold back.
Fulfilled.
I mean, for me, I don't look. I mean, I feel like I am the one parent who is like, I don't care if you like me, if you don't like me, if you like what I have to say, if you don't. I'm well educated. I have a bachelor's degree. I'm going into clinical psychology. I'm going to get my master's. I'm a business owner.
Keep going.
So anything that you have to say about what I'm doing in my personal life, I don't care. I was definitely the parent that brought, like, I was legally married to a woman. I am legally divorced. I do have a girlfriend now. But I was the parent, like, nah, my son got 2 moms and he needs 2 Mother's Day cards when he comes home. Like,
That's right.
what are you talking about? He's got 2 of us.
With both
Right.
palms.
Like, I was definitely that, like, and I showed up so that there wouldn't be an issue. You see me and my son and my wife in the community, you see us at the grocery store, you see, we are going to be something very common in your life because I'm here and my son is here. And he's not going to feel like he should feel left out because he has 2 moms. I don't even believe in that.
That's powerful.
So I was at every event, we were holding hands. I don't care if you don't like my PDA. I'm doing it.
Because I don't like yours.
Socks on. I don't want you to be mistaken. Because then on top of me, I dress most of the time very masculine, and that was another thing. Like, oh my God, Zion, your dad's here, and
He probably
I
looked
didn't
like,
mind. No, he called me dad for many years. I did
Really?
not mind that. I didn't want to be somebody's mom.
I was gonna
Like,
ask about that.
I didn't want to be somebody's mom out here in these streets. Like, nah, I'm
Really?
a dad. Respect my mom. If I could have had a real dick, I could have. Like, but I just, it took a while for me to be comfortable. Like, nah, I'm a mom. Like, and it's okay for me to be a masculine mom. But
Right.
I'm his mom. So once I got to that point, like, I was good, but it took a while. So it was like, oh, Zion, your dad, or Zion, why do you have 2 dads, or why is that a boy or girl? Hold up. So I mean, and I wanted him to be comfortable, and I kept it very 100% honest with him.
Word.
Honestly, just keeping it honest as
I love
much as
that.
possible.
Right.
I love that. And you need that honesty. My girlfriend has a 4-year-old son. She co-parents with his father, and he calls me babe. Cause like, babe, yeah. And like, honestly, when we're out and it's us 3 together, a lot of times we look like that lesbian couple, and her son is Russian and Jamaican, so he looks white. She's black. I'm light skinned, but
wow.
he's not my son. But I treat him as if he is my own. But
That's
a
love.
lot of times it's like we do get looked at, but it's always like, oh, he's so cute. Yeah,
Which
he
one's
is.
the mom?
But that's the thing. I don't think they're bold enough to really ask that sometimes.
nobody ever
I don't
is.
think they're bold enough to
They-
do
they
that
gonna
because
say,
if they
yeah.
did, he will correct you. That's my mommy and that's babe. What you want? What you want? Can we help you? Because we're going to the park and you are stopping my time. He will
I'm
correct
trying to
you.
have fun.
Yes.
And that's
Oh my
how
God.
my son was for a while. He's like, no, those are my moms. Anything
What are you
else,
saying?
like, we're good.
Yeah.
Like,
To the
I'm off.
kids,
Like, I'm
they're
doing
so
what I do.
innocent that
Correct.
they don't in their mind, they don't see anything wrong.
Now, what does that say to you about adults now?
Right.
We get told what's right.
Adults teach
Right.
hate.
all fucking
Adults,
day.
adults.
Children
They
promote
create your
love
narrative.
all day.
Even
Yeah.
your family.
They know nothing
Right, I was
about
about to say
You're
that.
confusing
Your
him.
parents, I think my parents created my narrative because my father was like, yo, you're a boy, you're gonna be a boy, you're gonna do this.
Lose
you're
your
gonna do
color.
sport.
It's called a dyke most of my life, and then they wondered
Really?
why I dressed the
They
way.
used to call me faggot when I was
That's
little.
why the fit hard.
Like, go
Seriously?
son.
So no, so
But I am one.
that's actually what I wanted to get at because you brought that up. How you didn't know who you were for a good period of time. So I really wanted to see when everyone in the room came out and what that experience was like to the family, because I'm sure it's different for everybody because we have all different ages.
Yes.
And it's
People that don't know who the Rugrats are.
yeah, right. So it's different times, different generations. I'm really curious to hear
That's
how that went.
Right,
I came out older. I was older because I grew up in a house where it was like my father was anti-black. He did not want me to. None of us could date black.
Wow.
Yeah.
You went
It was
and
to the
wait,
point-
your daddy
Right, I did.
Right.
Chocolate.
And what was the saying? What was the
It was
saying?
to the point where we
Was
grew
you
up.
skinny?
We grew up in right height. It was to the point where my dad would say, "You can go out and play with the quarters, nickels, and dimes, but you may not play with the pennies."
Pennies?
And that's what my father used to tell us all the time.
Wow.
And it didn't make sense to me as I got older.
Oh, you a penny?
Oh shit, that's fucking racist.
Oh shoot!
But you gonna go ahead and got you a pen and
What was I say?
Daddy, that's what you don't like? Well, guess what? I love you
I
over
was
here.
because then my sister left her husband, who was also gay, who came out to her when my niece was born, and he was Puerto Rican. But my sister just had a baby by a black man, and my other sister
In your
like,
face,
a
Dad.
black man.
Yeah. So he
And parents don't realize how
I
they
said
do
that.
that. They started that.
So I came out older. I was older because.
But
I
did
was
you know, like,
I've always known I was gay since I was little. Actually, I found out I was gay in middle school when I went to Quirk Middle in Hartford.
Period.
7th grade, Boys to Men song was on, and we were all in the locker room, and we were all coming out of gym class, and I'm like,
he's like, I heard this story before.
all these motherfuckers out
Which
here
song
changing
was it?
clothes, and I'm like,
We need to know what song it was.
so yeah, I came out. Actually, he's my first relationship, gay relationship.
Oh, wow.
And I put a ring on
So
it.
have you
And that's
ever
your husband.
I didn't date a woman. I had sex with a woman, and what
just
she
didn't
did-
hit?
What she did to me was what killed it for me.
Whoa, what'd she
do?
do?
I had sex with her when she had her period.
She said by any means necessary.
Tradition.
I'ma get
There's a
this.
lot of women who wouldn't even go.
She
That's
said I'm getting
crazy.
So do
she
you-
knew. She
Wow.
knew.
She
already
sealed the
knew
deal.
back
There was no
She
chance.
knew you wasn't going back
She
after
trying
that.
to give you a baby.
That's another topic. Taz, like, I'll say it.
Oh.
So-
Well then.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna take
in the
this
shower?
Hispanic love.
It was in the bed. Just
You no towel?
Whose bed? Her bed? Oh,
she nasty.
That made me hot.
Not the nasty, the nasty.
it was bad.
The nasty.
But I don't blame
Look at his
that.
face as he tells stories.
Like,
But I don't blame that for me being gay. Like I knew I was gay when I was messing with her.
Really?
I just wanted to try.
She knew she was on her
But then
period.
I confirmed it. Like,
No,
Sis,
honey.
that's safe for me.
Men don't do this.
Not the red light special.
Oh, man.
Not the red light.
That's an interesting. That's your first time with a woman.
first time with a woman.
First and only timer.
One and done.
Oh,
Listen,
Don't let her. Well, you're married now.
So
that's
you
what
been
I'm saying.
celibate.
I was like, don't let her ruin
I
it.
mean, he could try it if you want to.
I already know.
I got the ring. Like, that's the husband. He can try it if he wants to. He come back home.
You got to
So,
teach
so
that.
Jen,
That man.
what's your story?
Thanks, because
No, listen, this is going way over an hour, bro. I'm here for all the shit.
Well, shit.
What happened was I came out to my Jamaican family at 10 years old.
And Jamaica's a very
And
homophobic, right?
I was yes, and I was what you consider a tomboy. I played basketball, I played soccer, I played.
Were you any
everything.
good?
Janae's a real nigga, yo.
Listen, I looked like a little boy. My favorite color was blue. I wore everything. I had the baggy clothes. I needed my uptowns. I needed my shit right. But I didn't really start flourishing some like the girly side until high school. But I came out to my family when I was 10. They thought I was crazy. Then when I actually got like my first girlfriend, she was a senior in Manchester, so I thought I was, big time. But I was one of the first people to come out at classical, actually, and our classes were pretty small. So if I said that I was gay, it's like, wait, what?
But to be honest, if they was paying attention, like
yeah, because I was doing me regardless.
Yeah, like first
I was out in these streets.
No, I had. So our school was super small.
Yeah,
you went from middle school,
6 to
you went
12.
to high school upstairs. So it was like everybody knows your shit, really. But I was real chill. I had a boyfriend in middle school. He used to carry my books and like sit outside practice.
The traditional.
It was cool,
but no, when I got my first girlfriend, I was ecstatic.
It taught you what to do.
It showed did, and then I broke up with her, and then I actually dated somebody that went to our school, and I went to prom with her, and my family was not okay with us like going to prom together. So originally, we picked out a dress. She's in a tux. I was like, my grandma can't see you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna meet you at the spot, and we're gonna go out and do our thing. But I came out when I was 10, and then my family didn't really believe me until like they saw that was it.
Right.
Y'all didn't let me go over my boy's house, so I had slumber parties. The basketball team came back to my house. The soccer's on the door knock.
Heard you.
They fucked up because it was a free for all.
I'm naturally just putting things together in my head. I'm like,
oh, because you know these people. You know these people.
I'm like, wait a minute.
And you know that stairwell that nobody could go down.
Listen,
yeah,
that one and the one.
All right.
We'll chop it up.
So, Curtis, your story.
I have stages that happen for it because
layers.
I came up in a religious family. My grandfather was a minister up until he died.
Cut you off.
You know what I mean?
It's 3 different, literally stories. You got a Jamaican, you got the religious, and then you got the racist dad.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like crazy that it's 3 very different stories and 3 different.
What's crazy is though that even though we're married, my dad did not go to our wedding. My dad does not believe that
because he's
our
a penny.
shit is real.
Yeah,
he loves us, but he does not believe that we should be a married couple.
Wow.
Daddy, they signed
we'll talk about that, but I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just interesting. Go ahead.
No, so my family's very religious. So growing up, through I think middle school ish was probably that time when I started like, oh, something's different, right? Definitely when I got to high school, I'll never forget to this day my best friend Latoya. She's out in New York. Shout out to Latoya, Brass City Media. I remember she came up to me in the hallway and she was just kind of like, she called me Clevey. Right? I don't know how she got that nickname, but she was like, I know. That was back in the day when you had the cardigan sweaters with the V-neck, that you got from New Haven Flea Market.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'll never forget that day. And she was like, I know, Clevey, I know. And I was like, what is she talking about? And at that time, I was dating my first boyfriend then, and they had grown up in Waterbury together because I went to school at Will Behind Waterbury. And so, like, that was kind of like my high school, quote unquote, coming out with, like, my friends that I knew.
Right.
And then I end up going to his prom. He went to Kaner Tech, so I went to his junior prom with him. I wasn't comfortable to bring him to my prom at that time, right? So that was like number 1. Then number 2 was coming out to my mom and my family, and my mom was kind of like, oh my goodness, what are your aunts gonna think? Like, what's the family gonna say? And I was just kind of like, it was, it's a phase. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it, man. It's just a phase. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I don't want to talk about this. This is what it is. So, like, that's it. And so we didn't talk about it for a long time. I moved out my house. I moved in with, later on I moved in with one of my boyfriends, what have you. And that was just kind of it. And then when I moved up to the 860, like Middletown, I was finishing up my undergrad at Central. Lewis and I started dating. And then it was kind of like that adult life coming out where nobody that I worked with or adulted with knew. It was kind of, you knew because you were my immediate family or because you were my friend from way back when, right? And so when I moved up here, a lot of people knew him. And then when I pledged for my fraternity, a lot of my brothers like knew Lewis and his family and stuff because the Latino community and the greater Hartford area is just kind of like they know each other, especially if you grew up in Hartford, you know what I mean? And so they were just excited, like, oh, I know Lewis and his boyfriend, this and that, and he wasn't out yet, right? And they're thinking I'm out, and I'm like, no, I only told y'all because I'm pledging for this fraternity, Lambda Theta Phi Lambda Fraternity Incorporated. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I only told you because like I'm pledging for a fraternity, and like you guys are showing me mad love, so I want to be real, right? I'm not telling you because I'm out, and so it kind of like. It was like a soft force out, right? And then through the fraternity, like empowered me to be me, be who I was, and just kind of be like, whoosh, like it doesn't matter type of thing. So I always say, like I had those 3 stages. It was like, you know, my high school life, then it was my family, and then it was my adult. And so, you know,
it does happen.
It just kind of was like this tricky maneuvering of the thing. But the religious thing definitely played a part because, you know, I remember being a kid and my grandfather, we were so close. Right, it was just every time it was the Bible, and he ran his church and all this kind of stuff. And he really I never heard him talk down about gay people, right? However, I heard other preachers and other like people in Christianity in the black church talk about it in a downward manner, right? My grandfather never went down that lane, and I don't know why. He just always talked about like what was acceptable and not acceptable, but he never talked about gay specifically, and I don't know why that is.
That goes back to what we started off with, the old fashioned, the prehistoric mentality of like, man's supposed to be a woman, white's supposed to be white, black's supposed to be a black, like that's it. That's just back then the way they were programmed to think, and not realizing like the same way evolution happens, like we as society have evolved, and now like even back then it was happening, it just wasn't out there. So now it's in your face, and it's like, listen, you ain't gotta like it, but you're gonna accept it. Right. Period. Because it's gonna happen with or without your approval.
For real. And I give props to the I call it the younger, I'm 37, so I'm not that older, but you know, or seasoned I should say, but the younger generation definitely empowered even folks my age, because growing up, like I felt like we couldn't really just be open and free, where the younger generation coming up is like, this is what you said, 10? Like I couldn't have fathomed, you know, at that time trying to even name what my emotions and what my feelings were, you know what I mean? So like when I hear these stories, it's like, wow, this is amazing. And even to the, you know, when we got married, like one of my uncles, my mom's brother was just kind of like, you know, he was like, I'm concerned for your soul, your spirit. You know, because of the whole religion thing, right? Like, where's your spirit gonna go? And I never told this to my mom, because she would absolutely flip, and I know she's not gonna watch this, so it's fine. But like, you know what I mean? But I told my uncle straight up, and I was like, I'm blessed and I'm fortunate enough that I am so solid in who I am today, that those words will not impact me marrying my husband, will not impact my life or my being. I said, however, in this community, I know folks who have access to possibly being suicidal or drugs or something like that, that can take those words, internalize them, and totally do an about face with their life. And I was like, but I'm letting you know that I know who I am, so I'm not receiving anything you're saying at all. Right. You know what I mean? And I said, I'm just letting you know, I love you, you're my uncle, we don't have to talk again, but I'm just letting you know I'm not receiving none of this conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Because I know what it is.
One, I didn't ask for it, and two, I'm comfortable. Yeah, I'm good.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
You know, because I also know the Bible says you shouldn't live a life as a lie being unhappy. Right? I mean? So I'm not going to live my life as a lie to pretend to be something else and be unhappy when that too is a sin.
Just because you don't fit inside
just
their
because
box.
I don't fit in societal norms. You know what I mean? So
shit, I knew Sister Sandbox, and if somebody told me different, I would have smacked them. I wish you were able to be in a time and in a space where you could have learned about yourself and have done that even at a younger age. Because I feel like I have, maybe just now because of my time and my, you know, how old I am, but if you would have done that then and came out and been free regardless of your father, ooh, honey.
Right. Because I think about the life I've lived.
It's crazy.
I live.
Seriously. In school, when I see the students, and when I was to teach first grade, I used to see kids who I knew, and I provided that space for them.
Because
and
you
they
missed
need
out
that.
on that.
For sure.
They need that. For sure. I mean, my brother, we can get into it after your story, but my middle brother's gay. Love him to death, but when I found out, I was just like, all right, cool.
Cool. Next day.
Yeah, like, right?
So what do we eat for dinner?
Like, yeah, all right.
It's another day.
I felt bad that he had to hide it from us.
Word.
You know?
Wait, what?
So Taz,
You
what?
been hiding Cheerios under your bed all the time?
What else don't I know about you?
Like, you got anything else?
Where my J's at? That's what I'm saying.
Real shit, 'cause you stretched them out last time.
I think for me, hold on, there's no statute of limitations in age, right?
No.
Also, when you talk, make sure you talk towards the
Okay. So, I want to say my first girlfriend, I was in like first grade. And
Hey!
yeah, I mean,
Pop, pop,
I didn't know
pocket.
she was my girlfriend. Feel me? But she was this girl, and I don't know. Like, I've always struggled with what I like and what I don't like, and what the time frame for that's supposed to be. Because as a young kid, like, my mom had a lot of friends, so me and my mom's friends used to always play doctor and house and. Yeah, so at a young age, I was exposed to different body parts, and I was like, "Oh wow, okay."
So you was playing mommy or daddy. I don't matter.
It didn't matter
I'll
today.
show you mine if you show me yours.
You feel me? So at an early age, I was exposed to different things, and then in first grade, well, I had this little girl, and I was just like, "Yo, I like you. Like, I like you. Like, I want to follow you around. I want to do everything
What
you
kids
doing."
say?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
What's your
But
dick smell like?
like, oh, that's my girl. Like, I wasn't like that, but I was like, yo, I want to do everything you want to do. And she was like a little tomboy, so I was a little prissy little girl, and I wanted to follow the tomboy around. But then in first grade or second grade, this girl, I'll never forget her. Her name is Alexandra.
Ooh,
And she was just,
Alexandra.
yo, Alexandra.
I hope we find that.
Yo, Alexandra.
That name though. right.
Yo, Alexandra had me.
She's from the Bronx.
Her middle name
She
Marie.
must have been
Yo,
from the
I
Bronx.
don't even know her. I didn't even know her. Yo, I don't even know her, and if I was to see her today, I would probably like double take, like, yo, that's her.
Yeah, that's
but,
you?
Bruh, she was brown skinned, she had long, dark hair, like, and I was just like so amazed. And she invited me to her birthday party, and I was hyped, like, oh, I'm going to a birthday party. I'm about to get it.
I'm about to get you the
And my
best
mom
gift.
had me wear this ugly ass dress to this birthday party. Man, yo, I was so tight. I was like, yo, Alexandra don't want to see me in this, mom. She's not gonna know that I'm coming to party in this dress, mom. This is not the right dress, mom. My mom did not try. She didn't want to hear me. So she let me go in that ugly, stupid ass dress. And Alexandra ignored me the whole party. I'm not even gonna lie.
Alexandra.
Like,
Oh no.
and then I went back to school the next day, and I was just like, why you didn't pay attention to me? And she was just like, I don't know, I was playing with my other friends. And I was just like, but you invited me to your party, so you should have played with me.
attention. Play with me, baby.
And she did it.
I got a good dress on
She
today.
really broke
I feel like you need to go look for her now on social media.
Yo, nah, cause my girl now would probably kill me.
Yeah,
You feel me?
big
My girl
ass
ain't playing that.
ridges on the bottom of her
You
boot.
feel me?
Nah,
But
I ain't with
that was like the first two instances that I knew that I was attracted to females without even knowing what attraction was. I just knew like being around her just felt good. I wanted to do this. I wanted to play with her. I wanted to have a good time. And then I told this little boy I was gonna beat him up if he didn't show me his penis because I didn't understand why I couldn't go into the boys' bathroom. I run faster than all the boys. I played with all the boys. I was better looking than all the boys. My braids were crisper than the boys. My sneakers were crisper than the boys. Why can't I go into the boys' bathroom? I told him I was gonna beat him up.
How old was that?
I was in second grade. I got almost
Second grade was a good year for you.
You got suspended?
I almost got suspended.
You run this shit on the playground.
Better call my mom. Yeah, my mom whooped my ass from the time we left the school to the time we got home, bro.
And again, just because.
And again, just cause. Whoop my ass.
I have a question for you.
And I didn't understand. I just wanted to know why I wasn't like the
You
boys.
said you
curiosity.
dressed crisper than everybody else. Did you dress like a tomboy back then?
So, I mean, growing up, I've always been called a dyke or a tomboy, but I wore a little bit of everything. Like,
Yes.
my mom wasn't playing no rack. My mom was one of those kid moms that abused you at home and you look good outside. She
You
was
look
not
better than
playing.
me.
Except Alex.
You gonna get your ass whooped when you got home, but when you come outside, you got on the right shit. You got on new sneakers. Your bobos is on all the right places. Like, you is good.
If you got to pick out your outfit for the day and your mom had no say, what would you prefer?
Oh, okay. So let me get to that. I went through that in middle school. So
same.
my mother decided that I had to wear a skirt at least once a week in middle school.
Really?
Bro.
Once
Once a fucking week.
But guarantee our basketball shorts are on underneath. I guarantee you. Stockings?
Nah, I was being watched. I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even put the change in. I had to ask my friends
I had to sneak it.
to sneak me close to school
You had to sneak
so
it.
that I could change
Yo,
at
you know
school.
what's crazy? I don't mean to cut you off.
Wow.
You're making me think of middle school, right? When people would be like, "Oh, Spencer had to bring my clothes to school," and me, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't think nothing of it,
Yo,
and now it's
hell
making
yeah.
sense. The shit that kids overlook that was going on back
in
then.
somebody else's clothes one day. I'm on pulled up
Why
to
she
the
rolled to the
school
school?
early dismissal.
So let me.
She didn't tell you before you left the house.
Yo, and I came into the office like, oh, what y'all needed?
Right, you was
Yo, when I ever saw my mom's face, yo, there's nothing you can do when you got a whole outfit of somebody else's on. There's nothing you can say or do about
She's
that
like,
shit.
I didn't pay for that.
You didn't leave the house with that? I checked your book bag before you left, so it wasn't even in your book bag. So how the fuck did you get that?
So your mom didn't accept you.
My mom didn't accept shit.
Okay.
It
There's
really
that.
comes from her. And I feel you on that. So, like, my uncle was my best friend. He was only about 10 years older than me. And that was my mom's younger brother. So, my gold chain, my new Nikes, my shit it was his shit. He would just make sure I was good. But he knew what I liked. So, it was baggy clothes, whatever, Sean John. I thought it was cool as
Yes,
fuck.
for Sean
I thought I was cool
Just,
as
I was
fuck.
clean.
Yo, I was.
It wasn't until high school
But
until I
when
was
your
able to
mom
buy
give
my
you
own shit.
I ain't buying that fucking shit. Where the fuck you
Yo.
come from? Take
But back in them days, education protected the parents. So that your parents,
No, the fuck it didn't, because
they
called
did
them,
because,
and that's why
and
came
they
to
but they
school.
were they used to tell the parents what was going down in the school. Now they don't. Now they're not supposed to at all.
Oh, okay, word.
You can come to school dressed like a girl and be in school like a boy, but your mom will never know.
Really?
I got two questions.
Interesting.
I guess let's take it that avenue. First off, being part of the LGBTQ community in the professional environment versus and you brought it up, or maybe what it looks like being a kid or a person, whether it's in the education system, your work or business, whatever it is, in the professional environment. Let's take it there, because I know a lot of employers may judge, although they're not supposed to, or like you were just saying, now schools are not supposed to say anything.
Right.
So let's talk about being part of the community in the professional environment.
Any type of segregation.
Yeah. Any type of.
I mean, I'm fortunate enough to work in an organization that this is okay. If we want you, I wear white high heels at work sometimes just to help.
That's dope.
Just to help my bosses.
With a spray painted red bottom.
Why you calling me like that?
Because I know the shoes.
What he saying?
And I support it. Like, whatever. You know? Like, it's what it is.
Them
You know what I
shits
mean?
was ugly ass purplish color. And my bosses wear white high heels. And when I first started working there,
With
I just
stockings.
started a year ago. They used to be like, the parents are gonna question you because you're gay, whatever. I said, I don't give a fuck if they question me. The next day, I went home, took the high heels, and I was click-clacking in that hallway while parents were dropping off their kids.
Period. Ask me a
Is
question.
there a problem?
These shits come.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Who gonna check me, bro? Yo, I love it. I can't wear heels though.
I was gonna say
Talk on
heels
that,
don't
Janae,
look
talk
comfortable.
on
I
that.
can't wear
Oh,
them
they are
shit.
so comfortable, especially when you click-clack. You mean business.
I love that. Strutting, baby. Bring that
And add a notebook to it.
complete opposite experience. So I've been in the military for 8 years. I have the complete opposite experience, and I'm actually getting out in 2 weeks. And
Do invite me to that party. Here for the shit. Drink to
everybody
that.
take your shit to the head.
Thank you for your service and also congratulations at the same
It's a
time.
pleasure to serve,
Yeah.
baby. Serve
Hell
you.
yeah.
Appreciate you.
But
Definitely.
what I will say is, I actually filed the equal opportunity case against the supervisor because I didn't tell her I was gay. I worked there for
Do you have
4
to?
years.
No.
Okay.
Hell no,
So,
that's
okay,
not
then-
bad.
Still don't ask, don't
I
tell.
want to tell
honestly.
you, I was dating an attorney at the time, so she was very discreet. But we got tagged as together on Facebook and mutual photo at
some bullshit.
Cookout.
Yeah.
Right.
And my supervisor had been trying to add me on Facebook, but because of my lifestyle, I'm very out when I'm me, when I'm Meetjanae. But when I'm Specialist Farquharson, I am a different entity.
Farquharson.
Yeah. Like when you are in uniform, I am.
We might be related.
You're government property.
Yes, I am.
might be related.
No, there's not a lot of Farquharsons out here in the world. My dad's last name is Farquharson.
So we're gonna talk that shit later. He's Jamaican too?
Look
Yeah,
at us.
Jamaican too.
Look at us bringing families together. I love this shit. I love this game.
Right? I'm dead serious.
One pride conversation at a time, bringing families together.
Go ahead.
Everyone from the Caribbean is a cousin.
And I'm Cuban too. So
Puerto Rican. Hello.
Hey, mixed up. No, I got discriminated against because I didn't tell them. And they found out on Facebook because I didn't add my supervisor. So when she, asked me if I was gay, I was like, I am. But what does that pertain to my job? My entire battalion found out. Now, mind you, I am the HR for the entire battalion. This was my supervisor.
oh wow.
Her husband was a pastor. I was very particular about not telling her. So when she found out and she asked me, I kind of took it a second in that moment. It was like, I could either lie about my entire identity or I could just say, hey, you know what? Yes, I am. However you found out, you're going to take it with a grain of salt and you're not going to let it affect my work performance or anything like that. I thought I was doing the right thing by being honest. I wish I didn't. I won that
Really?
equality case. Yes, the fuck I did.
No, do you really wish that you
I
were
wish
honest?
It comes with so
I wish
much.
that I didn't.
That sucks.
Really
It comes with
wish that I
so
didn't
much.
because it did affect my work performance. After that point, I was no longer allowed to work with that person. I had to be removed from the office.
Wow.
The military
And of
treats
course
it a
not
little
them.
bit differently. Yeah, and the thing is, from when I filed the EO case to when the actual investigation actually started, everyone that they interviewed said, yes, she said this. Yes, she did this. Yes, she told me not to go to her because I might find her attractive. Now, mind you, I was great at my job.
Wow.
Fucking stellar at my job. I didn't even need a fucking supervisor. She was just a filler. So at that point, I felt like I'm gonna define myself and my work ethic. And at that point, it was about 6 years of active duty. So for me, it was kind of like, this is not gonna define who the fuck I am.
Right.
My work ethic is.
You gonna
But
stay
when
true to
they took away
you.
Work and kind of segregated me and trying to put me in a box. Oh, I got loud and brolic. I filed every fucking inspector.
You disrupted the game.
I shook the fucking room.
Like you said
And that's
earlier,
what-
disrupted the normalcy.
Yeah,
like you
Yes.
said
And
earlier.
when you shake the room, they don't like it. And I worked for a military intelligence battalion in Fort Devens, Massachusetts. So I'm talking boondocks, West Bumblefuck, no gas station with the bodega. Like it's stressful out there because I need my bacon, egg, and cheese. But it's real stressful. And honestly, I lived out there. I moved away from what I knew. And before I went there, I came back from Africa. So I really was in a weird space in my life. I felt like I was home and I thought I was coming back to something else where it was going to be a new norm. But once I got outed, it wasn't.
Everything changed.
No, and I actually have not physically done any work for the Army since 2019. But I get paid on
Do
the
we
first
need to cut that
and the
part out?
15th. No, absolutely not. Let them know that 826 and my battalion ain't let me do shit since 2019. And guess what? I still get paid. Okay?
Hey, y'all hiring? Because
Y'all niggas hiring. It don't even matter right now. Listen, it don't even matter because I'm still gonna get paid on the 15th. Okay? I'm not worried.
Talk about it.
Period.
I respect it.
Listen, it's all good.
That's crazy
The
though.
military, you being gay, don't ask, don't tell, ended the year before I entered the military, and that was why I was supposed to join the military right after high school, but I didn't.
Wow.
I did 2 years of college, and then don't ask, don't tell, went out. So I'm like, this is my time, this is my prime. No, they still ask.
Shit, the military was the most pussy I ever
They
had.
still do it.
What'd you say?
You can't shake.
you was in the, wait, hold on. You was in the military too?
Yeah, I went to Air Force.
Oh, cheer force.
I had
cheer
thought about the
force.
Air Force. I thought about it.
I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I ended up having lupus, so got
great.
kicked out. But it was a medical discharge, so it's
Right.
not dishonorable or nothing like that. But what? Being locked up in a dorm with a
With
whole bunch of
60
chicks?
women in the bed?
Fuck lights out at 9 o'clock?
Yes.
Let's
No, wait. Okay, let me talk about the work thing. Did you want to talk about the work thing?
Go first.
You sure?
Really
Okay,
about to
so.
get
You already know that. You already know that.
By the military.
No, all right, no, that's not serious. Okay, so for me, how I dress in the workplace, it was never an issue for me. It was an issue when I started switching between dressing masculine and dressing feminine, because my male counterparts would be like, "Damn, Tess, where you was all that ass at? Where you was hiding all that ass at, Tess? Damn, Tess, you might have been that over federal prison. The outfit I had on today, I probably would have got in trouble for it. You feel me? I was femmed out today. I had on my halter top. I had on my leggings.
Hit me up.
You feel me? So it was, for me, it was like people couldn't handle the fact that my attitude is going to be whatever it is.
You're gonna be you regardless.
Regardless
Word.
of whether I have on leggings or I have on dress. So it's like when I dress up and I got on heels, it's,
shit.
Right.
you feel me? And then when I come on with my suit,
Comfy,
I just went to a wedding not too long
Dress
ago.
blues.
Bro. Try him out. Dress blue?
Ain't nothing like a dress blue.
Oh, my dress blue.
Clean, sharp, press.
Yeah.
Clean, sharp, and press.
So let me.
And I hated that they wanted us to wear the skirts and shit like that, because I was like, nah, I want pants. Like, put me in some pants. I don't wear skirts and dresses normally, but I wanted some pants. So for me, it's like, when people see me outside of what they normally see me in, it's like, oh my God, it's a huge deal. But it's like, I'm gonna do this because if you see me 5 months from now, 6 months from now, whatever I got on is what I got on.
Let's talk about something, and you guys hit on it on the beginning, and I think that is now becoming more prevalent in society, is pronouns. And it was interesting because you guys gave your pronouns, and then you guys were like, I'm Taz, I'm Frankie. I know what I mean? So
I need education on it.
Yeah. So
let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Even in with pronouns, there's also gender identification wording, such as you guys, right? So that's part of it too. So like, in a space where it is better to ask folks what their pronouns are, right? So, and if you don't know or you don't feel comfortable enough asking that, right, to just use gender neutral terms, right? Okay. Y'all, folks, beautiful people, humans,
so
etc., etc.
Do people really take offense to it?
Yes.
Because
do y'all take offense to it?
No.
I was gonna say, because I know we've said you guys a few times.
I don't.
Okay.
But being in the spaces with other folks, right, and also who have challenges and or identity concerns, right, or have their own struggles, right, and or who have transitioned and have made milestones, right, it means that much more to them just for them to say this is my pronoun, right? And so for that, I give you your flowers or your pronoun or whatever it is that you want. You know what I mean?
A story real quick. So one of my good friends from college, right? There's two twins, Tanisha and Tanita, right? And I know they're gonna watch this, right? But they're both lesbian, right? And when I left to England, one of them, well, by now we already know, Tanita went through a change, right? And me at that age, being ignorant, I was like, I support it, but I also didn't understand. I was like, that's still Tanita to me. You know what I mean? Like, I would support you. I'm here for you. But when I see you, to me, you're still Tanita. You're the homegirl that I met through XYZ. When I saw you, we chop it up. Like, I don't care what you're going through. I would support it, but you are. That's to me, right? Right. But then when I came back from overseas and first saw Tanita, who's now Jordan, I saw what it was. Not it, but like I saw what the situation was. That like, okay, I'm gonna respect this and call you Jordan because that's who you want to be identified as. You know what I mean? And at that point, this was 2016, 17, so I don't think pronouns were really like a conversation. Right. But to me, it was just like, okay, I need to stop calling you Tanisha. I'm sorry, I fucked up the twins. Tanisha was the one that had to change. I need to stop calling you Tanisha and
I respect that.
Respect
Exactly.
Jordan.
Now,
And respect Jordan and be like, and
now,
the
can you imagine? I'm bisexual, but my high school sweetheart, who I dated in high school and dated in college, who started transitioning when we were in college, I broke up with her because she started transitioning.
right.
Oh.
So, and mind you, like, yeah, Bria was turned into Adrian.
Yeah, Bria was the
And-
homie.
Yeah. So
Love
for me,
Bria.
and even I respect you because I didn't even do that then.
Right.
That was my person.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't understand, and I didn't even try to.
And I love him regardless. You know, like that's the whole,
Exactly.
like. But to my ignorance, and he and I never talked about it, right? But at that age, I just didn't understand it. To me, it was just like, yo, that's Tanisha, like.
In your mind, that's all you knew.
Right, like I don't care who you are, like I love you for you
Don't blame
regardless.
yourself though, because there's a certain ignorance even within our community.
Word.
Listen, I struggle with it sometimes.
And I still to this day cannot call her Adrian. Call him Adrian. I in my mind.
Like
all
right
I know-
there, like right, yeah.
Yeah.
All I know is that's Bria to me. So when I'm with her mom now, I'm just like, yeah, well, when we said this, he said this.
Right,
I can't
yeah,
catch
right.
I have to. And it sucks because I want to be able to do that for him, but I struggle because when I see this person,
You just in
he's
your
still,
head,
he's
yeah.
still the same person.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna take
Regardless.
time for you.
It's gonna take a whole
I-
with her.
So our
time
pronouns to get back, pronouns is more geared towards people who are transitioning or
Not
I
necessarily.
think it's for everybody.
Not necessarily. It's for
I
everybody.
think it's more known for people who are transitioning because you're going from he, she to him or her.
You're taking
or
that leap.
You're
Okay.
doing the opposite.
word.
Right.
I think for people who are just in the life or in the community, it's more of a respect because not only are we LGBT, but
Now, there's
we
more.
are
QRST.
QRSTAARR.
Is it wrong to call it the alphabet?
I mean, it,
Yes. At the end of the day, yes. At the end of the day,
say
yes.
that shit again.
because
Just say LGBTQ plus. You know what I mean? Like,
LGBTQ plus.
right. It is,
Seriously,
especially if
because
you're heterosexual.
Now
Like,
we're
for real.
going on, and there's so many different categories. But
Right.
I know for me,
We can talk about
when the
those.
people that I know that have transitioned, some of them don't want people to know that they transitioned. Some of them want people to just see
Oh,
them
this
as
is
the
wait,
man
this is how
or
I've
woman
been.
they are.
Spencer, I don't know who watched last. I know I raised my hand. I'm
Right.
bad. I work in the school system. I get excited.
Hands up, mouth closed.
Spencer asked the question last week at the beginning of our episode.
Oh yeah.
And you literally just brought it up. So for someone who has already transitioned, right? When is the appropriate time to tell somebody that, like, hey, I'm transgender?
It depends on
I don't know if I said the question right.
Yeah,
For
so
one,
he did.
I don't necessarily feel like I can answer that because I'm not transgender.
Yeah.
But for some people, there is no time.
Right.
For some people,
just wanna know.
don't, because of the fact that, I mean, at the end of the day, there are people who have transitioned, who have fully transitioned their whole body, and then
Full
there are
stop.
some people that have transitioned one part and still have the other part. So at the end of the day, if I'm identifying as a man but I still have female parts, I don't call them female parts. And that's my knowledge from the people that I know. They don't call them female parts. They still identify as male parts, even though
Word.
realistically those are still female parts.
Yes.
But technically I identify as a man, it's my dick.
So
Period.
I guess my question is, and just to make an example, right? So say Janae transitioned, right? She was a man, she's now a woman. And she's like, okay. And her and I are talking. I guess the question is, in today's society, when should she tell me? And you're saying
Would
that
it
some.
matter
But
if
does
she
she have
did or
to?
didn't
Huh?
tell
Does she
you?
have to?
So
I feel like the person
I
should
feel
know.
like, yeah.
Why?
I feel like
Is it gonna change how you feel about her? Is it gonna
Because
change
what if I
you
want
know
kids?
her?
That's where the pronoun comes in.
But
How
if
would you
I-
like for me to identify you as?
But hear me
like,
out.
what is your
If
pronoun?
Spencer got to know me and liked me for my personality, and I took it upon myself, well, hey, before you really start to engage and start catching feelings, I want you to know, and I feel comfortable now.
Yeah.
But sharing that part of myself, hey, by the way, I used to be this. I feel like at that point, that would be Spencer's decision.
So,
whether to continue.
You have to give the other person. I think it's fair to give the other person the decision because
Yes.
what if I want kids
Heterosexuals need
and
to know.
I will never be able to have children with
The
her.
gays, we don't give a fuck.
Wait,
But-
I know.
Yeah, so listen,
Wait, but that's a different situation.
True. Why would you not be? Why would you not?
is that possible?
I mean, if
Wait, hold on.
If I
That's
used
a
to be
thing.
if she used to be a man, then
If I
no.
used to be-
But if she was
That's
a
what
woman
I'm
becoming
talk-
a man, then
what
that's
I'm
different.
Talking about if she used to be a man, and I'm now talking to her as Janae, as we see her right now, and I
Right.
think she's a woman.
And no.
So then
You
that's
have no kid.
different. In that
Okay, because y'all blew my mind for a second.
You was about to be like, hold on, I got reconsider things.
Because listen, there's transgender, there's
Adoption.
female
You
to
ain't
male
carrying no kid.
who can have children.
Of a
They
movie.
do have children, but still look like males.
I know, I understand that, but
And still
To
want to
my
be
knowledge-
identified as males as well, even though they're pregnant.
and to my knowledge, Janae and I have been talking for a month. We already done had sex, whatever. And I'm like, yo, we want to.
Y'all naughty.
You done brought me on your show and fucked me in an hour, goddamn.
That doesn't even sound convincing.
Hypothetically speaking,
Hypothetical.
So is there anything else that we should know about pronouns?
Wait, hold on. I still want to know the timeline.
Respect them. When someone comes to you and tells you what their pronouns are, just respect them.
Word.
Because there's a reason why they need to say it up front. I need you to be comfortable with who I am and what I find is acceptable in order for me to be in this space. And then that's really important. We was like, I'm me. The fuck? I can't be nobody else but me.
Right.
But that's because we don't care for being identified as any pronoun. You call me guy, hey guys, what's up? I don't get offended by it. But there's a lot of people who are.
But they
because
said he,
work
him,
their ass
them,
off.
right? He, him.
No,
They, them.
they, them, theirs is another set.
But as a gay man, I'm also confused with pronouns because I've been in situations where
You knew gay, you, yes. Come here.
No, but
No,
it's
because
like-
to your point, right? We know folks, individuals who they have long hair and still have
And
their
I'm
male
lost.
organs and go by she.
So what if?
So that's what I mean. It's up to that individual as to when.
Ponytail, like,
Make up your mind.
It's up to that
Make it
individual.
make sense.
you
I
know?
could be she, her,
or
that.
like last
can.
week, last week, you know, we play gay kickball, and I'm on first base, so I'm gonna talk shit to everybody in first base, like, welcome to first base. Hope you make it to the play.
I did my kiss.
And
Take a drink.
She ran to first base, and she is pink tight pants, but she's muscular with a 5 o'clock shadow. She got a beard and a mustache, and I'm like,
Make it make sense.
yo, dude, like, run to second base. And they were like, no, it's they. I'm like, wait a minute. She got a beard. He got a beard. And I'm so fucking
I think
lost.
some of. I was
Like, I think to me, even though, and this is not, maybe y'all disagree with me, but I feel like you have to pick one.
I don't feel like you have to pick one.
I feel like you.
I think that's the
don't-
point that you don't have to pick one.
The,
Right.
the point is to.
But
the point is to be able to have the freedom to choose one.
Okay, but I agree with you, right? You have to choose, right? But how can I not respect you, but like, okay, Janae wants to be acknowledged as this, right? I respect that. If this week you are she, they, and the next week you're he, them.
So
how can I respect that if every other week
Shave your 5 o'clock
That's-
shadow.
no.
and
Is
it's
it
statistically, it
Keep your shit
doesn't
up.
bob and flow
Hold on, say it again.
in that short. It doesn't bob and flow like that statistically.
Well, no, I know.
You know what I mean?
I just use that for
yeah.
example. I'm
You
just
know?
saying,
But
like,
you remember how you said one day you want to wear your leggings, the next day you want to wear your basketball shorts. I get to decide that.
Yeah.
so how?
Call them by their
How am
name.
I supposed
The
to-
safest way is to call somebody by their name.
There you go.
That's the
best
safest
to
way.
respect
So
that.
then why the pronouns?
What?
If you want to just be called by the name,
Because,
I'm okay with that.
because you also have a group of folks who gender identify folks.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Got it. Okay.
There's also a group of people who
Like
they
large crowd.
go to gender, right? So for those who don't necessarily call folks by their names, right? They go by gender, like,
Bro.
good job,
Dude.
girl.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. Da da da. So then that's where that comes into play. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
me, dude.
Gotcha.
Your best bet to be respectful is to try to just call them by their fucking name.
Right. That's the
Right.
safest
Call
way.
us by my name, baby. Call me by my name, and you'll be safe. I promise
Right.
you. And that's how you can respect it. Because there's that person
Absolutely.
that you don't know what they want to be that day, fall back, just call them by their name, whatever their name may be. Adrian, Bria,
Jordan,
Jaden,
Yeah.
Tay-Tay.
who did?
You wanna be Tay-Tay?
He taught me to say
Wait,
beautiful
actually, I
people.
have.
It's the
Right.
people.
Beautiful people.
Humans.
Liz.
Yeah. Okay. So to make a mild transition, right? So no pun intended. So,
Hey, drink.
I'll come empty.
they got the tequila over here.
Shit. Not that one. Not this one either. Y'all finished this one?
Yo, do you need to?
No, not the Escalon.
There's
It's
tequila
empty.
there.
No,
what
the
you was
Escalon. Yeah, no, but that's really not straight, baby. Not straight. No, not drinking.
Can I just say I like the way you say baby?
Baby.
Like, I love you want that to be my ringtone. Let me get your number because I'm gonna just hit you on a random
Baby for
Tuesday.
networking. For
She don't really gotta call me baby. I just like the way it sounded when she say it.
Cut
You
that
feel
part
me,
out.
babe?
That's just for everybody in this room. We're gonna cut that part out. I did not mean that. Yo, go ahead, Spencer. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
All right.
Cause you about to both get in trouble. And I like the way my ass look without ridges on it. So baby, please.
Peep the Instagram.
What was your transition question?
Yes. So my question is, how was it in the community? I'm just gonna call it the Pride community. When Caitlyn Jenner did, when Caitlyn Jenner transitioned, like how was that? I feel like that was a lot of responsibility that everyone had to take on.
I talked a lot. Go ahead, you could go.
I feel like one, right, there was like the Marsha P. Johnsons way back in the day, Stonewall riots,
Yes.
hence why we have Pride today, right? Who were fighting that fight for so many years prior to Caitlyn, right? And this comes into that intersectionality part of it, right? And because you have a white man who transitioned into a white woman,
big deal.
now society's like,
But talk
oh,
about
you
the
can come to the
masculine
table.
White man, what
Yes,
he identified as the Olympian
Yes.
white
The elite,
Correct.
elite,
Elite of the elite.
Macho head honcho.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Wheaties
Absolutely,
boxes.
absolutely. And because this was him coming over to Caitlyn, now
It's okay.
there's room at the table to have that conversation and for you to be socially and societal accepted and
So
all
this
this kind of
was a
stuff.
good thing.
You know what I mean?
Yes and then no.
Yes and the no. Like there was people
way before-
Somebody was
way
doing it
before
before, so
Caitlyn
why
who
we
were
accept-
fighting
But the
that
white
fight.
privilege
that
came into
that
it.
Caitlyn didn't fight that fight. Caitlyn
you
came in
got-
with privilege already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Privilege,
So it's
money,
what you're
status,
saying.
stature.
You
All type
appreciate
of things behind that.
you appreciate what was accomplished by it, but you don't appreciate her.
You're like, so you like, yo,
They
Denzel should have
theirs,
did it.
whatever you want to call
I'm
it.
not gonna say I don't appreciate her. I'm not gonna say that I don't. I feel like it opened a lot of different people's eyes when the show was going on. They kind of talked about how the kids kind of knew that was happening, but no one talked about it. No one.
I've
thought
never
that it was
seen the
okay
show.
to talk- Okay, I did. I watched the Kardashians. I might be a Harvard Kardashian, my damn self. But
You might be.
You hear about how the kids saw it, but no one got the chance to talk about it. The kids were curious. The kids wanted to know, why did we walk in and catch you in mom's dress? Why were you walking in heels? Well, that's how she felt comfortable.
Yeah.
But she had to hide it. So that part of the show I did appreciate because it got to see a softer side where this person literally had to suppress who they were for so long because they were publicized, they were an Olympian, they were out, they
They were
were
in the
famous,
spotlight.
they did have money. So even with those things, I still feel like you took a chance on life to be who you are no matter what age you are. No matter what age you are, you took a chance on yourself to be who you are.
She tried to be subtle.
No, that's bullshit. No, baby, no seasoning, more than adobo. That's more than adobo, baby. Now I put you in the fridge for 2 days.
Adobo completo.
No, we do gotta get those glasses.
I already got it for you guys.
Listen, I'm tired of you fucking flexing
No, it's true.
with a fucking glass like that on us. I'm tired of it,
I
bro.
got them for you guys already.
I told you I can't do that lit. So we're just gonna do it one time and doing it.
No, it's true.
Nah.
I mean,
But
you know.
I feel like it's a hit or miss. You can
Yeah.
either appreciate Caitlyn Jenner or you can
Right.
not appreciate. But I appreciate being able to be.
But
who you are.
I appreciate the photo
athlete,
shoot
too.
with the I appreciate the photo shoot with the kitten heels and the open back
But who was the basketball player?
coming out the red car.
Because who said no?
The basketball player who was gay, not gay, but he dressed up as a woman.
Oh,
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. First of all, Dennis Rodman's just him.
But
He's
yeah,
just-
right.
But look at
that's
that.
The same, and that's the same.
His pronoun
But look at Little Nas X now. Little Nas
No
X.
one, there was no
He's
media
gay.
on him. I mean, there was media on him,
Is
but it was
he?
negative.
Yeah, right.
But he was gonna play on doing regardless.
Little Nas X is gay. However, he also
He made a
I should tell you
is.
that for publicity.
And I'm gonna get this wrong.
I don't know, I like
so I
that
apologize
video.
in advance. Little Nas X is gay. However, as far as the way he dresses and things like that is gender non-conforming
Correct.
yeah, I mean,
with his
What
attire.
is
Call me
that?
what you
See?
want, baby.
You're just like me. You're like, what is
No,
this?
right. So
Where fingernail nail polish, which is considered quote unquote girly,
Yeah.
right? May have a little foo-foo-la, right? Like just wears whatever. It doesn't matter if it's a dress, it's a pant, it's a whatever, it's a afro
He
puff.
just
Like
flexing on
I'm
his
gonna rock what I want to
glasses.
rock. You know what I mean? Like Willow Smith did the same
I'm
thing,
about to say
right?
when Jaden
Willow
Smith
and
was
Jaden.
when he was on the magazine in a skirt, niggas was raving.
Yeah.
But dead ass in the fashion industry right now,
that's
most of the men is wearing dresses and skirts.
Yeah.
yeah.
But what makes it
After they talk so much shit about him
That-
because
that's
he's a
literally
black
it.
boy doing
Right.
it.
Fashion
It's
artistic.
It's true.
So let me,
expression of
y'all bring up a
self.
good point. Y'all bring up a good point, and I probably got like 2 more questions, and I know it's probably going to take another half hour with the 2 of them before we dive into anything.
Do
But
an LGBT part 2.
we can.
Yeah,
yo, I'm
can
here
this-
for this.
can this
shit.
be the pride panel?
No,
Is this the pride panel?
Yo, before I dive into the question, me and Spencer been trying to get a live audience episode.
Okay.
So it would be
All them
dope
chairs.
to have y'all 4 back and then just have, maybe 5-10 people here and just
We can set that up.
continue. Yeah, but
And
we'll
then
talk
you
about that
gotta
off
be
Yo,
camera.
me and my cousin coming through.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that off
Cousin
camera.
Now.
I heard you, Queen. Heard you, Queen. Yo, wait, what'd you say?
She said
What'd
there's
you
a
say?
grand opening happening
What'd you
all
say?
that.
We're going outside.
All right, hold on. So you guys just said like Jaden Smith was on the cover in a skirt, and now that's more acceptable. Da da da. So what does acceptance and equality look like? Because especially with the LGBTQ community, everybody says we just want equality, right? We just want to be accepted.
a deep
So
question.
what does that look like?
Equality will never actually happen. We want it. It's a vision.
Right.
Let's go down the line because I feel like it's gonna be different for
Start
all of
over
y'all.
there,
She's
start
just
Start with the young and with the old.
Respect your elders.
not youngest to oldest.
I feel like for me, I don't really. I mean, black people ain't equal, so I feel like
Yeah, that's a totally
LGBT
different
people
conversation.
and
And
black
that's
people
another-
equal before black people be equal. Like,
And that's another conversation. That's the next.
That's
next
February.
question, but LGBTQ and being a minority, as all 4 are. But
Yeah.
I
go,
feel
talk your shit.
I just feel like there's no such thing as equality for us. I mean, we're trying to be normalized and recognized as being normal and not something that should be frowned upon, talked about, looked down on, disappointed at. We just want to be, everybody drink water. Some people water in Michigan is dirty. Some people water in Florida ain't dirty.
Is it still dirty?
It's still water.
We need to fix this.
I
But
hope
it's
I don't got-
still
we don't got no
water
listeners
at
in
the
Michigan.
end of the day. You feel me? But I'm just saying, like, we want to stop being looked at as something outside of the norm. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like if we could get to that place, I think we will be and feel more equal. But I feel like we will always be the minority. LGBT people, black people, people of color, people of nationality, we will always be the minority because that's the mindset that they're putting us in.
And you just want to be people.
We just want to be people.
That's it.
Right, human.
You put your pants on the same way I put my pants on.
Maybe.
You pay taxes.
You feel me? Cause hold on, cause I had to jump in this.
Let's bring people together.
First of all, I got my skinnies on.
The pants.
No, but you put one leg in.
Yeah.
You gotta hide and get it up. But you put your pants on the same fucking way that I do. And this is what I learned in the military. You're gonna see me for who I am. You're
gonna see me for the work ethic that I have. You're gonna see me for the passion, drive, and motivation I have. And the things that I bring to the table, guess what, baby? We always bring a son to the table. I'm an asset at every table that I enter.
You are the table.
I love that.
You are the table.
I brought
Nah,
you to my table.
You are the table.
So that you can feast from my table.
You are the table. Go ahead.
I'll drink to that. Absolutely.
Piggies out.
Yes.
And although I brought you to my table, I want you to accept me for who I am, accept me to my ideas. Tell me when I'm wrong, correct me. But
Educate
never,
me.
thank you.
Judge you.
Teach me fucking something new.
Right.
If you want to sit here and look down upon me,
Don't judge me.
you want to judge me, you think that my lifestyle is not fitting to exit. I don't
Stage
want
left.
nobody at my fucking table that wants to judge me. The door will hit you out on your ass, and I don't care.
And you missing out.
And guess what? When you're watching me win, and I can't wait for our 10-year reunion. When you're watching me win, I don't want you to sit there and talk about, oh, well, she could have did this. I want you to clap. Okay?
Right.
Even if it's a negative clap, silent clap, because guess what, baby? You're watching.
Right.
And I'm somebody to watch.
Yes, I love that.
Heard you.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Janae
No, I
Frankie
know
show.
you. Oh, no.
Curtis.
Somebody passed me as a kid.
What up?
I feel like it's a deep question for sure, and I feel like there's different pockets. I feel like there's that political piece, right? I feel like there's that cultural and race piece as well in there, right? And then also within your community, there's a piece, right? Because one end politically, right? It's going to be politically driven. You're not going to be accepted, right? And then within your community, it just depends on what community you're in for who's going to accept you for what, right? And your community, your religion, and your culture, all that kind of stuff plays a part within that, right? And so it's just kind of like,
What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do?
Hold on.
listen,
What y'all gonna do?
what are they
I
going to do?
accept you, but you wanna do what? You're not gonna sit down.
She been drinking.
You're not
drinking.
gonna sit
For real. Right. And I just think it's different parts to it, you know what I mean? And I just think that, you know, at the end of the day, is I believe in being in education, right? What made me comfortable, which outside of my fraternity, was the kids, working with kids. Because it's like how kids can pick up if you fake and you phony, right? So how can I show up working in a school and be not even know or be comfortable who I am and try to, you know, guide and empower youth? It's not gonna work, right? So in doing that, I had to own who I was wholeheartedly, so I could show up for our babies, right? I had to own who I was, and through that, I'm like, yo, just show up, be authentic to them, right? And empower as much as you can, and let them know that they are a light, they deserve to shine, and they deserve everything that anyone out here has access to. They deserve that too,
We
right?
need more educators,
you know what I mean?
like that.
And so that's what it's about. That's what it's about. You know what I mean?
Because even to my experience in high school, like you remember Miss Bronowski?
Yes.
Most people hated this woman.
I
I loved Miss Bronowski because she was what she was.
And
I'm gonna hold you
hate her
accountable.
like her.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you accountable. My class is gonna be hard. I'm gonna quiz you every
I had a
week.
teacher like that too.
Yeah.
But guess what? I had a lot of dirt in her class too. But guess what? That's okay.
Yeah. It's just like, but she
had that demeanor that you knew was like Miss Trumbull. Like you just knew, like
Yeah.
You walk around the corner, you see her coming, like fuck.
Like, oh, damn.
But think about it.
But
That's
you
the teacher
respect
you
her
want,
immediately.
because that's the teacher gonna make you tighten up your shit.
Yeah.
She's coming, all right, back.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Like, and then when she respected you though. She didn't need to be a hard ass all the time. She could chop it up with you and laugh, but you respected her. You knew what not to kiki about her class.
That's a fact.
Jose Buca had his chirp going on.
Boo!
It was the dollar they chirping at in her class, and his phone used to go off all day. And she used to be like, come here. Now you know.
Hey, Boo, come on the show, bro.
Yo,
come on the show,
now
Boo.
you know. They used to be like, hey, yo, Buca, where you at? On his fucking line. And he used to be like, yo, Miss Blake, talk to me. I want my phone taken away. You wouldn't get your phone back at Classical.
No, you will not.
No, you
So
won't.
you gotta have your parents come get that.
Classical back together.
Yeah.
I was the first class of classical by name.
No, you
What,
talking
in
about
Hartford
Hartford
High?
High. That
Yeah,
was
that's
the
not
program.
the real. We had
That's
our
the
own
program.
building.
We were the school.
No, so he was the original.
In what year?
He was the
You guys know Woodland Street?
His class was the peach
We'll
tree.
cover that shit after.
What year did you graduate?
High school?
Yes.
97.
My mama graduated in
graduated high
96.
school in
She was in
97?
your
I was
class.
5 years old,
Period. Whoa.
Hey,
First
Willis,
of all, I was
Willis.
at the daycare.
What does equality and acceptance look like? I'm tired of
lifting
trying
her up
to
as a
age you,
baby.
bro.
Yeah, no,
I'm trying to age you.
Yo, that's the thing. He know my mama. You my mama age.
He know my mama.
Yo, damn.
Probably know my aunties too.
Yeah.
Hey, what does equality and acceptance look like for you? Let's yeah.
This is like 4th, 6th grade thing. I can't answer that.
All right, so then let's one final question, and then we'll say if anyone has anything else to say, and then wrap it up with 15 seconds.
This was
as
a
we
great
always do.
episode.
No, we still going.
Yeah.
When we were sitting here earlier, you were like, "Hey, should we put the flag out?" We're like, "Yeah, bro, whatever." And then Spencer put it down, and then you were like, "Yo, we need to teach you flag etiquette." Right?
Yeah, he did.
And I don't mean to throw you under the bus,
Yeah, no.
but I would have done the same shit. So let's talk about that.
It was because he had the purple on top.
Okay.
When
So
you first put it down. Yeah.
And it was backwards. Mind you, this is not the flag.
The
You can talk-
inclusive.
is there actual? I mean, I feel like this is gonna be a stupid question. Is there like an actual meaning or like
Don't ask me that question.
represent?
Each
Obviously, there's a
color has
represent.
its own- yes.
Each color has
Okay.
its own. However, in our space, we also add brown and black.
And baby blue and the pink
baby
and white.
blue and
What
pink
is
and
what
white.
does that represent?
So within the gay community, there's also racism, right? Within the gay community.
And I feel like we didn't hit on
and
that. But
so
we did for another half.
that's why they
Yeah.
updated the flag to be inclusive of the black and brown community. So they added black and brown. And then for our trans folks out there, right? They also included that. So they included the baby blue, the pink, and the whites also within this flag to
So
be
these
all
got smaller.
inclusive.
It got really
Real
small,
small.
and then it added.
And it has a
got so
triangle.
small, they added a triangle.
Right.
Look like an arrow.
So they
I
added
like
the
it.
black and brown,
It
and then they
reflects-
added the like a triangle for the trans colors as
Word.
well.
But just like regular society, how
I didn't
the
even
gay
know that.
community is transforming. We're evolving.
Yeah.
And we're accepting of more. Even though we have our own prejudices within our community.
Yeah.
That's individuals.
Yo, we
Yeah.
gotta talk about that.
That's
Yeah, that'll be another
that's
episode.
more of
Sure,
an
we gotta do this
individuality
again.
thing. But as a community, I think we're super fucking accepting.
There's room at the
Who you
table.
are. Just come as you are.
Honestly,
dope.
gay people is one of the best people. We
Yo,
fight
all
some
right,
of the
all right.
hardest
Nah,
fights.
All right,
yo.
time out. So
Better do some
we
shit.
we getting ready to wrap it up. And I feel like y'all was gonna get deep and get passionate, so that's why I want to cut y'all off and then start
Because
to
we
wrap
would've
it up.
picked this back up.
So
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna do a part 2. We're gonna
Hey,
do a part 2.
we made a couple
This
part
is-
2.
Nah, listen. This is the panel, but I want to do this with the audience. So we first off, I would love to do a pride episode with the audience, and then I would like to do like a mental health episode with the audience.
Amanda,
Yeah,
you
so-
ain't say shit. So sit
Whoa.
down.
Wow! Oh, we gotta cut a beat. But all that being said, at the end of every episode, we give our guests, or we give a 15 seconds of fame. Talk your shit. It don't gotta be
Yeah.
anything about what we just spoke about.
Should we start?
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't wanna go
Normally we go last, but
You should go first.
first of all, you gonna stop fucking flexing with that goddamn.
Yo, that class is so hard.
But he got us. Yeah, he did. That's a real nigga. But
Flex your cup, baby.
But so normally we go last, but this was so dope. We're gonna go first.
Yeah.
And
Take
then
time.
between the four of y'all, whoever wants to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll wrap it up.
I'm gonna go last.
Where? Y'all go first.
You all right?
Bet. So I have to shout out Janae because yo, listen, I went to school with Janae, and Janae was completely different to how she is now. Like she was loud, she was aggressive. Like
Wait, she wasn't loud and aggressive.
no. But she's like a mature version because
Heard you.
for sure
We call
because
those aggressive tops.
Yo, because I done seen her flex on teachers back in the day, like it was nothing. And like, so when she was talking about like the army, like now you want me to turn up, I was like, oh, they don't even know. They don't even know. So I know, Janae, I gotta give you your flowers because you've definitely come a long way, and it's dope to see people that you grew up with in school progressing and doing their own thing. Because if you see her on social media, Janae got like 50 businesses. Hello. Like what? You can tell she's Jamaican. She's Jamaican as hell.
Every day I'm hustling.
Yeah, you can't. Yo, you cannot knock it. I'm gonna let you shout all those out when you get to it. But yeah, no, we appreciate you coming on. And like I said, I see you growing and glowing. So keep doing your thing.
Yes. There's not so many people that know me from back then that I still fuck with now.
That's love. That's love.
Shit. So that right there, I appreciate. I was a hothead as a kid. I used to cuss teachers out. I didn't give a fuck who the fuck you were. I would smack a bitch in class. And I get to play in the basketball game that night.
On site.
It's okay. I missed 8th grade semi-final because I smacked some bitch. But like, it's okay.
I hope she don't watch this shit.
I feel like the military provided me with the discipline that I need. But my dad owns a restaurant on Main Street. It's called Lions Den, so you'll see me there.
What?
No.
Cousin and I used to work together.
You gotta mix it with actual sound effects. That's how you want to
So I'm the manager at Lions Den. I put in a lot of work. We just did a couple pop-up shops. We're gonna be at the Jazz Festival. We're gonna be at the Jerk Taste
That's
Caribbean.
love.
So we need the sponsorship across the jersey.
Listen, I'm gonna get y'all a whole sponsorship shot. We just talk that shit.
Hold on. We're gonna give you your 15 seconds.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you. Matter of fact, y'all get 60, but fuck it. My shit is, first of all, I want to appreciate y'all for pulling up on this Friday night, because I know there's 1,000,001 other things we could have been doing, but y'all here with us. Secondly, love yourself, bro. Yo, whoever the fuck you are, whatever the fuck you going through, love just like that. Love yourself. Love yourself and realize, like, whatever you're going through, you're gonna get through it, and afterwards it's gonna be a beautiful process. That's my 15 seconds. Just fucking love yourself and smile through the bullshit. Whoever wants to go next, I don't know if y'all decided.
I just want to say I appreciate this space because, I mean,
you're always welcome back.
The city of Hartford provides the space during their meetings, but a space to like be us and have a drink and like talk and like really like talk about it. It doesn't happen. So I appreciate you guys creating this space for us to like have these conversations because it's needed more and more often. So.
Yo, I'm gonna be real with you. That's why I started this podcast. Like, I think about my journey of like, I went to Bloomfield High, went to a D3 college, wasn't supposed to make it as a pro athlete.
Stop saying that.
But what?
He always says I wasn't supposed to make it.
The odds were against
According to society, right?
According to society, that's what I mean. But we're sitting at a table full of successful people that we're not supposed to be here.
Facts.
And when I first started this podcast, it was like, I want to make, like you said, a space to have these conversations. So like, to see someone else see that means a lot to me. Right. You know what I mean? And that's like, I appreciate that.
Like today when he asked me like, where are we going? I was like, so like the podcast is, how did you get there? How did I get there? Is your question. Like, how did you get to that question?
And people ask that shit all the time.
And I have to like tell him like, I tell people all the time when I share your stuff, like, the question is, how did you get to that question? How did you get to that business? How did you get to everything?
Right.
And so like, it's appreciated. And like,
no,
I appreciate that you are, I mean, I don't know if you're a product of Hartford, but you are.
Yeah, I am.
Because your mom and your uncle,
right? No, that's
in Hartford. Like, so I appreciate like you guys having this space. I mean, I can't say guys.
It's okay. We don't mind. I didn't take an offense to it.
This, especially for Pride Month, because if you look around, this is not happening nowhere.
Right.
I haven't seen it anywhere.
Maybe put up some balloons or something, handing out free pens. That's normal.
Yeah, there's parades.
So cheers to you guys.
Hey, appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate that.
Anything for
love. That's love.
Yeah. You're next.
No, I'm going last.
She already went. Don't give it to
my
me.
go?
Wait, hold on. Did you
She
go?
didn't go, but she kind of went.
Spencer was happy.
Hold on, this shit smooth as fuck.
Yeah, like this.
That's why we stood up.
Come on, I don't know.
I'm gonna take a picture of this.
Yo, this shit smooth as hell.
Tequila.
No, but this shit good.
Yo.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that tequila and ginger.
Yo.
Yes, ma'am.
Bruh.
There's tequila in there.
Tequila.
There's tequila in there.
tequila in
And who's going next? Who's going next? So we can wrap this up and enjoy our night, bro.
Other than my dad's establishment, I'm opening my own space. It's called Pergola. It's in New Britain. It's on 21 Arch Street. I'm actually going to open up the space to you guys. So you can
Appreciate that.
Soundproof the room already. So y'all can, you know.
Talk your shit,
Yeah,
Queen.
you ain't say nothing but a word.
But other than that, I'm still personal training. Get out in the army in 2 weeks. And I have a business with my girlfriend. It's called the Ganesh House. We serve catered hookah at all events. Pool parties, bachelorette parties, whatever you want.
We taking over the summer.
Facts.
Absolutely, and we have an event tomorrow. There's a pride event on Sunday. Definitely check that out. It's in Torrington at Social House. I like to be out and about. So for me, I want to get into the weeds of everything. And I'm never going to limit myself as a person. So yes, I have 50 fucking businesses, but guess what? I'm going to dedicate all of my energy and time to all of them.
Talk your
because
shit.
It's what I'm passionate about.
That's a
I'm
fact.
not clocking in. I left that job after 3 weeks. I'm not clocking in. I'm not clocking in.
Because you're not built for that.
I'm not.
You're not.
Heard you.
Be your own boss, and I want to push that out to everybody. Try to be your own boss. Because
Heard
guess what? Somebody telling you what to do, especially a drill sergeant.
It's more than enough opportunity out here.
Go ahead, Curtis.
You know, I occupy like a various spaces. However, you know, one, I want to let folks know that the commission, the LGBTQ plus commission for the city of Hartford, we are open to folks who want to join the commission. So please, you know, contact the city. You can look it up on hartford.gov and find more information on joining the commission, right? All folks, please come for us. Right, exactly.
Sign me up.
Outside of that, you know, I'm president of the board for the Gay and Lesbian Health Collective on Broad Street. So absolutely, if anyone needs HIV, STD, dental, PrEP, any of that, definitely look into Hartford Gay and Lesbian Health Collective on Broad Street here on the south end of Hartford, for sure. And then also outside of that, you know,
Queer prom is happening tomorrow.
Prom.
Queer prom. I coordinated last
Is that
year.
like tomorrow? Like
Tomorrow
Like real
and
tomorrow?
Saturday.
like you could show up.
So next week it'll be.
Oh yeah. So you.
Because this will air next Friday.
also it has
So-
Yo, send me that shit. I'm
That
gonna put that
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
on
We'll put
social
it. We'll
media.
put it on tomorrow.
Yes, and
Where's
the-
Queer Prom at this year?
It's happening at Manchester Community College, and it's a drive-through in the Health Collective. They've been doing it for years and years and years. So they host that annually. That information is going
What
out to
age
Harvard
group
Public
is that
Schools, Craig, what have you.
It's all ages.
My bad.
All ages.
Well, no, because I hear prom and I think high school.
Right.
But that's
Right.
why.
It's supposed to be towards high school students, but it's open for 15-year-olds up to 18.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So that's-
15 to 18.
And it is on Twitch. It's gonna be live stream on Twitch and YouTube and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm way too
I don't
old.
know.
Awesome.
We don't.
I was
no,
gonna
we
go.
could possibly find out how to
Absolutely.
volunteer.
Awesome.
You also could have just an adult prom.
Absolutely. You could. We
Listen,
could.
That's the next topic because
Listen.
that is that.
We gonna do this again, bro. We gonna do this again.
I also want to give a shout out to my folks over at the Urban League through my YP, my Young Professionals, all y'all. Definitely check out Young Professionals through Urban League. Shout out to the CEO, David, and looking into everything that they're doing over there. All inclusive space.
Yeah, we
All
love
right,
that.
FYI, all inclusive
like
space.
exclusive.
Yeah. Dr.
That's
Danny
right, put your
Moy.
He's out.
He's out. He's out.
He's out. He's out.
Ricky's out.
He's out.
Not the past.
Yeah, you gotta have y'all back. I always.
Hey, Tess, talk your shit. Talk your shit so we gonna enjoy our Friday night.
First of all, that Akatsuki mask is hard. I hope you heard me. I'm a Naruto fan.
First I'd like to say shout out to y'all for inviting me, man. This is like my first Locks by Taz has been invited somewhere. A
Really?
pop-up shop. Like
You a big deal, so that's a shot.
yo, that's some real
Yo,
shit.
show off the flex. Them shit's split difference, bro. Wet
Everybody
dub.
show me love. You know that TikTok, why aren't you famous
You know
yet?
we
Because your,
posted on Instagram.
your friends
I
ain't
think the
share
whole
your
story.
shit yet.
Yo, Taz take
how
care
it
of me. Taz, we'll tell the story off of camera.
I got you.
We'll tell the story off camera. Go ahead.
So definitely shout out to y'all for inviting me. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate that. You know, I
Anytime.
be watching.
Always
I be,
welcome back.
I be talking about shit. I be saying,
Yo, you be
shout out
posting
to
shit.
your
You be
shit,
commenting.
yo. I be commenting. I'm like, yo, y'all shit hard. I'm really trying to get my name out there, get in the community. I love working with kids. I've done so many YDPA programs. I've done so many outreach programs. So shout out to the kids of Hartford. Shout out to the city of Hartford. Shout out to Locks by Tess. 'Cause honestly, there's not a lot of locticians out there that is trying to do the same shit that I'm trying to do. So.
And not a lot of locticians that will actually care about you. So I tell the story on cameras. I really don't.
Yeah.
No shade, but I had someone locking my hair before, right? And when I went to her, so I had got COVID back in January, and I had to cancel an appointment. Yeah, my bad. I'm good now. But so I had missed an appointment, right? And I had to tell the girls like, hey, can we reschedule in 2 weeks? And she never responded to any of my messages. So my cousin that was actually here earlier, he was like, yo, go to Taz. Taz got you. Taz got you. Taz will hold you down, whatever. So I hit Taz up, and I went in there, and she was like, yo, I'm going to be real with you. We got a lot of work to do. She said, and mind you,
easy.
I've been growing my hair for 5 years. She told me straight up, she said, listen, we're going to have to cut your shit. Your shit's fucked up. But once you get with me, I'm going to take care of you. Your shit's going to lock. Yo, I just sat in here, Wednesday?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, Taz, my hair's locking. Like, crazy locking. She said, yo, I told you, once you get with me, every time I sit in Taz's chair, she cleans it, like, when I tell you she takes care.
You be rubbing this motherfucker's scalp. That's why
Listen.
When I had dreads, that's the best.
You saw the story.
What? Crease my scalp, shorty.
I say all
good
that.
hands, huh?
I say all that to say, like,
It's the hands
she's
down.
putting in, one, you pay for what you get. You know what I mean? So if you don't want to spend the money, you not saying that she's like crazy expensive, but that's life in general.
But that's supporting local.
Right. And
quality.
Taz, when I tell you,
Quality.
ever since the day that I've sat in her chair, she's treated me like fam. You know what I mean? She here right now. You know what I mean? So like, I say all that to say, like, I know only one other loctician. I think that's what you called it. And that's no shade, but I say all that to say, like, Taz takes care of me. She gonna take care of you, and as soon as you step in that shop, you fam. And to me, this podcast, you're fam.
No,
whatever you do in life, you look for people that accept you and look at you as fan. So like she said, yo, she trying to build her brand, bro. I'm behind Taz 100%. 100%. So I just went off on a tangent, but I think this is the perfect time to end this shit because that shit was fucking dope. If you haven't fucked with this episode, fuck you.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.